Hey everybody, Eric here with Rent Prep, and I'm making this video because I wanted to answer a question or at least maybe provide some helpful tools and tips that you can use if you're feeling a little bit of overwhelm from the amount of response you're getting from your rental listings. So Spellman here, which I like the name, actually one of the guys in my wedding has the same last name, asked a question and it says, does anyone use an answering service to field questions about your units because they're getting overwhelmed? They're getting questions like how much is the deposit and do you allow pets? So a little hack that I wanted to show you that you can use if you use Gmail and how you can set up autoresponders based on the email requests that you're getting. If you go to this little gears icon, the settings over here in the upper right hand corner, go down to settings, go to labs right here, and then search for canned. And will come up as canned responses. It is enabled for me. It'll be disabled for you if you've never enabled it before. So you just want to enable it and then click Save Changes here. So going back to my inbox, what I'm going to show you is what this looks like. So if I click Compose, and of course this is all on my desktop, in the lower right-hand corner here, there's an option, More Options button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Canned Responses, and I'm going to insert Property ABC123. So you can see that immediately it just copied and pasted this text here. And this text is telling the person, yes, it's still available. If you're interested, here's what you need to know. Here are my requirements. We will run a background check. There's no smoking or no pets at this residence. And now you can give me a call between the hours of blank to discuss further. So something like this will save you a little bit of time as far as replying to email requests. So if you take your rental listings and kind of funnel people into an email, it may give another opportunity for them to actually read that, hey, I have a pet, or I'm not going to qualify for this rent to income ratio, and maybe weed them out. So you might be wondering, how do you actually create the canned response? That's actually pretty simple. It's just when you compose an email, what I recommend is XYZ subject, and then we'll just go like that. And I'd recommend deleting your signature because that's automatically going to populate. So I can go here, click canned responses, and then I'm going to click new canned response XYZ subject. All right, so now when I compose an email, you can see that I click here, more options, canned responses, and now I go to insert XYZ subject. And you can see that it inserted that subject, it inserted that text. And since I deleted my signature, since it's already going to be there in the new email, it's already populated there. So just come up with whatever you want for your form email letter. You can use what I use, or you can use something custom to your own preferences. But that's how you create it. And just be careful when you are saving, because there is the save option, there's a delete option, and insert. So if I insert the property ABC123, that will now be added to this email as well. So that's how you do a canned response. So another thing, if you want to take this a step further, that you can do is you can make these actually auto reply with these canned messages. So what I did is I created a Craigslist post here. And it's real simple. I've actually gotten a few responses to it from people being like, what is this? But as you can see, when you reply to this rental listing, which is probably the worst rental listing ever, you can see it says at house without the e.craigslist.org. So what I'm going to show you is, like, say you want a Craigslist posting to auto respond with that canned message. So what you can do is you can go up here, you can hit the show search options, and the from, you would put at house.craigslist.org. And then if you want to make it specific to a specific listing even, you can put test housing available would automatically be the subject line. Because when you reply in Gmail right here, see that right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the subject test housing available. I'm going to pull out the Zillow. And then what I'm also going to do is create a filter with this search right here. So when I click that button, what I can do is I can send a canned response, and then I can choose a canned response. So let's say that property ABC123 lines up with that specific item. If you want to also get more organized, you can also apply a label, and then you can add a new label, and we'll call it property ABC123. Okay, so I'm going to create this filter, and now I'm going to give it a test. Hopefully it works, because I've already sent an email. Eric testing from personal email. All right. So I'm going to click send. So what I've done is This particular listing right here is attached to my Eric@RentPrep email, and now I, from my personal email, sent a request. So let's see what shows up here. So you can see right here, I got an email from Test Housing Available, and they sent this. This is the email from my personal, and here's the automatic reply that occurred from that filter that I had set up with my canned message. So what this could do is then give them that information again, because let's be honest, none of us read anything. Like I'm guilty of this as well, but it'll reframe it again to them and say, hey, if you want to follow up, here are the steps you have to take. So instead of going right from the rental listing to a phone call, what you can do is you can put in another step, automate it. And if you're using Zillow or HotPads or other services, and if there is email involved, what you got to do is just find what that specific from email is going to be. So in this case, it was at house.craigslist.org. And then you can create that filter again. So maybe the subject is exactly what the subject should be, or you can come up with these different filters and different ideas of ways that you can give a canned message. And if you really want to take this a step further, what you could do is give them specific hours they can call you, or one thing that I have had a lot of success with organizing phone calls with people is in a service called Calendly. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this is also something that if you're real busy, you could give them a link and say, hey, here are the available times that you can call me for a 10-minute phone call or whatever you want. So this might be something that you could then, instead of putting in this section, you can say, here's a link on how you can schedule a time to chat with me. So hopefully this helps for those Gmail users out there like myself. If you can figure out ways to kind of systematically improve your process, it'll help reduce your stress and maybe give you a little bit more time and be able to manage the incoming rental requests that you have so that you can spend your time doing the things that you want to be doing. Yeah, hopefully that helps, and just comment below if you have questions, or maybe if you have suggestions, or maybe things that I haven't thought of as far as that, how you can kind of reduce those rental requests and kind of automate your process a little bit more. All right, take care.